Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new type of video on the channel. Today we are all here. We're going to be talking Forbidden Light. The new set is coming out this weekend. We're all very excited about it. I'm here today with Jacob. Say hi, Jacob.
Hello.
And also Ian from the channel. Say hi, Ian.
Hi guys, how we doing?
So today we are going to go through the entire set. We are super excited about this, guys. Even Jacob's dog's excited about it.
Right, let's see. I'm sorry.
I was trying so hard not to laugh there.
Oh dear, I'm leaving that.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
leaving that, and that was funny, right, guys? let's just jump. Let's jump into the list, guys. We have got. We don't have English scans of the cards yet, but everything is up on PokeBeach for your viewing pleasure. And first up in the set is a new Alolan Executor card. I'll bring up the art so that you guys can see it. The card has Tropical Shake, 20 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage from each type of basic energy card in your discard pile up to 5.
Oh.
Oh. It's not good, is it?
Pass.
Yeah.
No.
Even then, well, we've got an execute. We've got an execute that comes with this. Is the execute even decent? 40 HP execute. Search your deck for an execute, put it onto your bench. I guess. I can't think of the execute for the other set, but yeah, it's not really worth talking about.
No, it's not propagation execute.
Yeah, because what's it doing? It's doing 120 damage, 150 with a choice.
Yeah.
It's no.
It does have a 160 HP, which is pretty good for a stage 1, but yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Next up we have a reprint of Abomasnow. This was a grass type in, was it the last set? Was it set before?
I want to say set before.
Yeah.
Water type.
So it keeps the same ability, but for grass type. So when you play this to evolve, when you play this from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, just search your discard pile for grass energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. It's like a grass type Aqua Patch, which I think could be actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing something like Shining Genesect, it goes well in that.
Definitely.
The problem is it's a stage 1. Once you've used the ability, it's taken up a bench space. You're not really wanting to use the attack on it. Is it worth it for just the ability?
I guess it's slightly more useful than the water one, simply because the water one was literally Aqua Patch, and what's the point in having this when you've got Aqua Patch?
Yeah, definitely.
What does the attack do? 80 damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. What you could do with this, stop me if this feels clunky, but you could use this with Venusaur from Shining Legends and have basically a guaranteed sleep for 80 damage with 2 grass energies.
Yeah,
you could do. And Shining Genesect players with Venusaur anyway, so it's easy enough to put into the deck. I'm not sure if it's maybe a wee bit too clunky though.
It sounds clunky, but it could be a fun one. Maybe it could be reasonable. It could be reasonable. Snover, I can't even remember if it's the reprint or not. I think it is. Yeah, let's not worry about that. The next one is one
even still Ice Shard.
Yeah, the next one I'm actually quite excited about because this is definitely in the pre-release packs, the 23 card evolution packs. So this one definitely excites me. Is the Scatterbug Spupa Vivian line. So Scatterbug, if you go second during the first turn of your game, you can use this ability. Search your deck for a Spupa and a Vivian, reveal them and put them in your hand. If we get a thick Scatterbug Vivian line, this could be alright for pre-release.
It could be.
And then
for pre-release, yeah.
For pre-release, it could be nasty. And then the other Scatterbug, I'm not sure which one we'll get, but the other Scatterbug Super Evolution, flip a coin of heads, search your deck for a Vivian and put it into the play, evolve it right up to Vivian. So it's like a rare candy on a coin flip for your attack. I mean, going second in the game, that could be pretty nasty as well.
Yeah, especially when you look at his attack on the stage 2. Does 50 damage, the active Pokemon is now poisoned and asleep. So it's doing 60 damage right away, obviously, because of the poison, but if you make that stick around...
In pre-release, that could be alright.
Definitely.
Maybe not anywhere else.
I like it. I like it, but I just think it's too underpowered to make a real competitive deck out of. But it's a nice card, and it's a nice wee kind of
Yeah,
mechanic that you can use.
I genuinely can't think of another Vivian card.
Me neither.
Shows how good they've been. Um, so what?
There's definitely not been one since Breakpoint because I've never seen it. So
No,
He's just
If it-
discount Butterfree, that's why.
it's just discount Butterfree.
I was going to say it does remind me of Butterfree.
Yeah, but he's the original and best.
Right. Okay.
Moving on to Skiddo and Go-Go. I don't. Is this a reprint? It feels like it's a reprint. I feel as if we got a pretty pointless Go-Go before, but it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be a reprint. It must just be something else I'm thinking of. So we have Milk Drink for 1 grass energy. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Heal 40 damage from this Pokemon.
Meh.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? And then Double Edge, Grass Double Colorless, 120 damage, 30 damage to yourself. I think we skip over this one, yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Hopefully there's some good cards coming up because, I mean, there's been nothing really for grass types. Pheromosa, right, gets us into the first of these basic Ultra Beast Pokemon, and this Pokemon card is definitely a pre-release promo, so we could definitely be seeing this at pre-release. High Jump Kick, 1 colorless energy does 20 damage, vanilla, and then White Ray, 90 damage. If you have 1 prize card remaining, this does 90 more damage for 2 grass and a colorless.
In pre-release, that can be really strong.
I
Because-
totally agree.
You're going to take prizes one at a time generally, and that can help you get the big knockout at the end of the game. But outside the pre-release, I don't know if it will see that much play.
No, I don't see it, especially with only 110 HP.
It's
Yep.
too much to commit. It's 3 grass energy for the last turn of the game. Even in something like a Shining, a Venusaur Shining Legends deck, you're still looking at 2 grass energy attaches for that, and it's not worth it.
Definitely. If it was grass double colorless, it would be a bit more playable, but I still don't think it would see that much play.
In pre-release, it's going to be nice because you can sit this thing on the bench and just keep attaching to it throughout the game, and then at one point during your game, because as you said, Ian, we're going to probably be taking prizes one at a time, but you're also going to see more games go down to 1 prize as you're only playing for 4 prizes. So you're definitely, it could be okay, it could be pretty reasonable, but not the best card in the world.
Here's the question then: would you play it just because it's an Ultra Beast and because you got it as your promo, if you like?
Maybe, because I mean we're going to see some cards later on in the set that do enhance Ultra Beast play, stuff like B-String, stuff like Ultra Space. These all help Ultra Beast, so it could be that you maybe get some cards in your in your packs when you're there. It could make this card very useful, but I don't know, like with that double grass colorless cost, it could be really hard to power that up.
Yeah.
Unless you get a beast energy, I suppose. Like beast energy for the first attack, will end up doing like 50 damage.
Yeah, that could be quite nice.
It really depends on what you pull, I think.
Yeah.
Moving on to Alolan Marowak, this is one I'm actually reasonably excited for.
Yeah, I think this could be good.
So for no energy, it's a free attack. Limbo. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards. Attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. That is perfect. That is Baby Volcanion, and that is something that we will be losing come rotation. So we're going to need something else to power up these fire decks, and this will power up any deck for free energy.
Absolutely.
I really like that. And then
yeah, I agree.
Double colorless energy, Alola Circle, does 20 damage times the number of Pokemon you have in play with Alolan in its name.
Oh.
Thoughts on that, guys?
Well, I think the natural pairing for this has to be Alolan Ninetales.
I 100% agree.
It's double colorless energy. You can play Baby Ninetales with it to get that ability that stops GXs and EXs hitting you, kind of building off of what Hoopa's been doing with Scoundrel Guard. You can play obviously Ninetales GX, which doesn't see as much play as it used to, but still a really good Pokemon. I really like this. I think it can make a good deck.
What about Alolan Sandslash?
Alolan Sandslash being in the deck just to help draw out, like, you're not going to be able to use something like a Zoroark in those decks, so Alolan Sandslash could actually be pretty decent.
Are you thinking Slush Rush? So I thought you meant the one from Ultra Prism with the essentially shell trap.
No,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, that's a good point.
I was thinking Slush Rush.
Or both.
You could also use something like Alolan Muck in this deck, to shut off all your opponent's basic Pokemon's abilities. You're not playing abilities in stuff like Alolan Ninetales. You're not playing abilities for this Marowak in any way, by the looks of things. So Alolan Muck could be quite nice and just have like an all-out Alolan deck.
Absolutely.
It might get a little bit tricky evolving stuff, but if you play a heavy line of like Evo Soda and just focus on the stage ones, it could be pretty decent actually. Although that does take away Slush Rush, if that was the way you wanted to go.
No, Alolan Muck wouldn't because it only affects basics.
Yeah,
Good point.
Sandslash is the
Good
stage
point.
one.
Well said. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I like this card. It's a shame
think
it's only
it
got
could be
120 HP. That is a shame. I would have liked to have seen it with something like maybe 130, just to give it a little bit more survivability against something like a Zoroark.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? The 120.
I suppose
just
you
what Zoroark
could
needs.
you could run something like bodybuilding dumbbells, but then you're getting a little bit more cumbersome. But yeah, Alolan Marowak definitely gets the thumbs up for me. It's such a nice card, and plus Marowak is also awesome. So
That's very true.
let's move on to the next one. So the next one is a reprint of Heatran. Now we got Heatran as a steel type in Ultra Prism, and this one is a fire type. It's meh. The Ultra Prism one was nice for pre-release. I will say that. However, we got that with Magnezone. We're not going to get a fire type Magnezone in this set, do you know what I mean, or anything like it. So how we do the damage with Heatran, I can't see this thing seeing play. I really can't.
No, I agree. I mean, in pre-release, if you get a lot of fire Pokemon, and that's where you need to go with the deck, 30 damage for 2 and reduce 30 next turn isn't bad.
Yeah, but the big attacks, you're going to struggle to use it.
Definitely.
Even in like a non pre-release format, there's no real easy way to stream fire energies onto Pokemon.
No.
Yeah. What do we have next? We have Delphox line, which I can't remember if I like this or not. I can't remember what it does. So Magical Torch is its ability. Once during a turn before you attack, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon burned. Okay. And then Fire Spin. Double fire, double colorless. 4 energy attack. 150 damage, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, so you could technically discard 1 double colorless from it.
I'm not a fan of this. You want something better on a stage 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the natural partner's Infernape, obviously.
And that's so tough.
Damage.
That's so tough to make happen, though.
Try to set up 2 stage 2s.
I'm trying to think of fast ways to evolve fire Pokemon, but we don't really have anything.
You'd have to candy it. There's not much else you can do.
Yeah.
Or Wally, something like that.
What would? What does Delphox Break do? That's not
Jacob, did you not play a Delphox Break deck at one point?
Yeah, the break basically lets you, once per turn, search your deck for a fire energy and attach it to your Pokemon.
That's quite a nice ability, but it's essentially a stage 3.
Yeah.
It's tough to get up to that.
And to be honest, the reason why you would use the break with the one that I used was because it was doing damage for every energy attached to mine and your Pokemon.
Yeah,
so
it's like everything in play,
isn't it? If you need that
it?
extra 20, yeah. So if you need that extra 20 damage, you just use the ability to search your deck for another energy and attach it. So I don't know if I would play the break with that.
No, I probably wouldn't either.
It's a shame. It's a nice art though. But what's disappointing is that's probably going to be a holo. So you're going to get one of those jank holos that you can't play. We do also get a 70 HP Fennekin, which is worth noting, but until we get a decent Delphox, we're not really going to see that. Moving on to Litleo Pyroar. So Litleo has the 70 HP straight off the bat, which is nice to see. Pyroar does only have 120 damage, but its ability, I remember this card being really nice actually. So its ability, Unnerve, whenever your opponent plays an item card or a supporter card, prevent all effects done to this Pokemon. Already that's awesome.
Yep.
And then for a fire double colorless, which is a nice energy attachment, 80 damage if Lysander Labs is in play. This attack does 60 more damage, so I guess we need to have a quick look at Lysander's Lab. I will bring that up on my other screen so that I can drag it over. Lysander's Lab. So, Lysander's Lab. This card stays in... oh, okay, so it just gets rid of tool cards.
Yeah, they have no effect.
Yeah, tool cards,
right?
both yours and your opponent's have no effect.
Oh.
Yeah. Which,
So,
on the surface, sounds really good, but the number you're hitting there is 140, so you need a choice band to take out a Lele.
yeah.
And if you have to turn that off, you struggle to get the extra damage. Even Kukui would get you to 160. You know,
That's
so
a really good
I like
point.
it. I like it. I think it's a really interesting card.
How
That
frustrating.
could see a bit of play in some decks as kind of a fun deck, but when you can't reach that number, I don't think it's that competitive, which is a shame.
And you can't even power it up with something like a Volcanion. Volcanion only affects basic fire Pokemon, like Volcanion EX. So you can't even use it with that. That is a shame. It's a shame that it's both
It's
yours
got so
and
much
your
going for it.
opponents. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't think of any way you would get around that. That's a shame. That's a shame. If anyone thinks of a way to get around that, because this card could be really, really nice, leave it in the comments below, because I would like to do something with this. I love the art on it. I love that Lysander's in the back there. And they're clearly in Lysander's lab as well. Like, that's cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Such a shame.
I like these interactions we're getting with like kind of trainers and the Pokemon. So
Definitely.
things like Garchomp using Cynthia. It's a really cool wee feature they've added in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Palkia GX, rebranded as a
Jank.
water type. Yeah. Although what I would say is, water is much better than being dragon.
That is very true.
And given this, I think we have to take another look at this simply because it's now a water type, because it has access to stuff like Aqua Patch.
Yeah.
It has access to other water type abilities like Brooklet Hill. The easy, like when you have Brooklet Hill, it's easy to then use stuff like Octillery. It's definitely worth a look. So let's go over it. It's not as jank as the dragon type would be, but I still feel you're going to be disappointed getting this out of pack.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Spatial control, move any number of energy cards from your Pokemon to this Pokemon, which is horrible. You would never want to do that on an attack, because then you just put like 5 energy on your Pokemon and say, please knock me out.
Yep.
Hydro Pressure, 60 damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. It's 3 colorless energy. Not a bad attack, actually. Not a bad attack
No,
when you can consider that you
worse.
could get weakness. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then Vanish GX for 5 water energy, which... well, oh, sorry, 3 water, 2 colorless, so it's not so bad. 150 damage. Your opponent shuffles all energy attached to their Pokemon into their deck. So, again, not a bad attack. Like, definitely looks better as a water type.
I completely agree. It's far better as a water type. There are 2 main issues that I see with it though. Firstly, if you're thinking about Dialga GX, you've got Magnezone to accelerate that energy.
Yeah.
If you're going to use Patch, that's fine, but you need to get it into the active, which is a bit more clunky than Magnezone. And the other thing is the format that we're in just now. So much of the most popular decks are one attachment attackers.
It's just Lily. It's because of Lily,
First
innit?
Impression, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not great. It's better than when it was a dragon type, simply because you gain access to some of the water tools, but It's still not the best card around, is it?
No.
Here's a good one. So, Greninja GX with its Froakie and Frogadier line. So quickly go through the Froakie. Frubbles is the ability on the basic one with 50 HP. If you have a water energy attached, your retreat cost is 0, which is reasonable. Froakie, we have a 70 HP Froakie now, which is always something you want to see. However, I'd still be inclined to play the bubble one. I really would be.
I'm with you there.
The bubble Froakie was awesome, and definitely losing that would be a shame for Greninja decks, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. You maybe play 2 bubble 270 HP or something like that, just to try and avoid those quick knockouts, I suppose. But how many games have you seen where it's come down to a bubble flip and someone's managed to stall it out?
Definitely, man, definitely. And then we see Frogadier with Quick Shuriken. When you evolve, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And then Greninja, when we evolve, you put another 3 damage counters onto one of your opponent's Pokemon. So really building up these bats type abilities, just placing damage counters around the board. But what do we do with these? What do we do with these cards, guys?
Don't play them.
Really?
No, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I saw something someone put online where they basically said it's a 2-prize Crobat, which
Yeah,
kinda what it is.
I would agree, but it does have that nice 230 HP, which is going to be hard to one-shot. We've got a reasonable attack in 110, water, double colourless. Shuffle this Pokemon, all cards attached to it into your deck, so you can reuse your Shuriken abilities. And then Shadow Assassin GX does 130 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, specifically benched Pokemon, not one of your opponent's Pokemon, which is a bit of a shame because you then can't use stuff like Choice Band to make it a little bit better or attacking the active. 130 with a Choice Band, you're doing 160, which isn't ideal, but if you've been able to spread some damage around the board, you probably could take knockouts on something like a Lele pretty easily. Because all you would need to do then would be evolve up to Greninja and then boom, Shadow Assassin and knock it out with a Choice Band. It's not great. I see what you mean. Like, it definitely is a 2-prize Crobat. However, again, having stuff like Aqua Patch, having stuff like yeah.
See, like Crobat saw a fair bit of play.
Yeah.
And it was even still seeing playing expanded with like Toad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that people are playing it, and there's people out there that are already testing Greninja with Zoroark and Greninja on its own and all this other stuff. It's a popular Pokemon. It's going to see play.
Yeah.
I'm just underwhelmed by it. I was expecting it to evolve up and do 6 damage, put 6 damage counters on it, and then I'd have been like, right, here we go. I'm just a wee bit disappointed.
6 seems broken.
It does, but think about
every time you evolve, you would take a prize, essentially.
Yeah,
that's tough to beat.
Every time you giant water shuriken, you take a prize.
I would like to see something more along the lines of maybe 4 damage counters on it, and then that way with Quick Shuriken on Frogadier and then add in Wind Shuriken on Greninja, you would be taking 60. You would be dropping 60 HP, and then you could do that multiple times in a turn, shuffle them back into your deck, keep doing that, and that would be the kind of crux of the deck. Would be doing something like that. It is a little underwhelming though. I definitely feel that. Jabob, any thoughts?
I think probably the big thing for this one is the fact you can shuffle it. So if you're almost dead, you just shuffle it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you don't need to play stuff like Max Potion and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the only saving grace of it, is you're going to see a lot of... You know how frustrating it is when you get 10 HP away and they play an Acerola and you're just like, oh... If you think about that's an attack, so they have the choice to do it if they want to or not.
They're going to smack you for 110 and then shuffle away. The only thing is, you would need to have like that back in, like that. You would have to have that backup on your bench all the time if you were going to keep using the attack.
That's true.
And it's even
it is viable.
It's definitely a viable deck. It's definitely a viable deck. I would definitely say that. Whether it's
one other slight issue with it, and that's that Greninja decks just now use water duplicates.
Yeah.
This doesn't benefit from that.
You're not going to benefit from that.
If you want the damage from evolving the Frogadier, obviously.
Because it specifically states you have to evolve from your hand. So it's not when it hits the bench just in any way. Like, because what you could have ended up doing would be play one water duplicates and then duplicate into the quick shuriken.
Yeah. Which would have been awesome.
It's just not going to happen. It's a real shame. There's definitely ways it could have been a little bit more OP, but I'm kind of really okay with Greninja not being OP. Simply because it is still one of the better decks in Standard as Greninja Break, and it's not went anywhere the entire time. It's been.
I can't wait till it leaves.
I'm pretty okay with it rotating, even though I've got my full play set. So Greninja GX, definitely one to watch out for. That's probably the best card we've looked at so far. Let's move along to whatever we have next. We have Clauncher and Clotzer. I'm going to say these cards are bad without even reading them. We have 100 HP on Clotzer. Stand by for 1 water. During your next turn, Sharpshooting does 120 damage. Sharpshooting, this attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So you can basically, over 2 turns, snipe for 120 damage for 1 energy.
Pre-release, possibly. Outside of that, no.
It has 100 HP. That's brutal. That's awful. Let's move on. That's awful. That's a bad card. That's a bad card.
It's terrible.
Right. This one I remember being pretty decent, actually. Big energy costs on this guy. Big energy costs. We'll get that out of the way to begin with. So Aurora's technically a stage 2 Pokemon because you are going to have to evolve from Unidentified Fossil on Amura. But Amura does have 90 HP to combat that, so that's not so bad.
And remember, you can candy from Fossil.
You can candy from Fossil, yeah. So on Aurorus, Water, double colourless, Frostwall, 50 damage during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage to this Pokemon done by your opponent's evolved Pokemon.
I like that a lot.
That can lock people right out of the game straight away.
Yep.
But you have an option of going double water, double colourless, Blizzard burn, 150 damage. Can't use it the next turn. I'm okay with that. I think that's actually a pretty reasonable card. It's not the best card in the world. It probably won't see like masses of play, but it's not bad.
No, I quite like it. It's the thing that lets it down is it's only 50 damage.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to take, without a choice band, you're going to take 5 turns to knock out one Zoroark GX.
Yeah, but you're going to use stuff.
Think about it, the Zoroark can't hit you.
Yeah, the Zoroark's just going to sit there.
It's true, but these decks maybe play Baby Zoroark, or they've got answers for it somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely answers if people are expecting.
Oh, it's evolved, isn't it? I'm talking rubbish.
Yeah, it's evolved. So, like, if you think about how many decks play at least, like, the majority of them is stage 1, potentially stage 2, you hit that, they're not hitting you whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whether it's a GX or a normal.
Yeah, all that you would need to do with that, though, is Guzma up something else on the bench. That was all you would need to do. Because it is damage done to this Pokemon. So, Guzma ruins you. You would need to be very careful. It could work, however, I think something like Hoopa Denial or Alolan Ninetales Denial. Sorry, Jacob. I know that's still a bit of a rough topic for you.
Alolan Ninetales still wouldn't hit this, though.
Yeah, but like I think they're I just think they're better Denial decks as a whole.
Yeah.
Simply because they don't need to go through the whole
definitely
stage
better.
through. Yeah. We've got an interesting card coming up next. Let's jump onto this. Totally ignore Avalugg for now. Bergmite is OP, guys. 1 water energy for 10 damage. Discard a stadium card in play. If you do, your opponent's active is now paralyzed. You can paralyze lock from a 1 energy attack. Just shuffle in all your stadiums over and over again. Keep paralyzing them out the game. This could be awesome.
Yeah. Well, this just totally reminds me of the deck that was running around for a while with its Heatmore and Raichu.
Yep.
Where it was, and now it's kind of evolved into Oranguru with Raichu.
Yep.
It's so good because you've got Lucamine.
Yeah.
You get a stadium back every turn, just lock your opponent out. It's awesome.
You can literally, because all you would need to do is play multiple Lucibine, and then take a turn to cycle 2 Lucamine back into your hand or whatever, and then just keep cycling them back. You could lock your opponent out of the game completely with this, and it just adds 60 HP Bergmite. How frustrating would that be? If that's the only thing in play, you can't do anything about it. You can't Guzma, you can't switch, you would have to play a physical switch card.
There's only one drawback, I think, and the drawback is that it does 10 damage. Because that opens you up to Acerola.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If it was purely paralysis, I think that would be better.
Broken. That would be so nasty. So let's see what it can do when it evolves. That's a nasty card, though. That's a nasty card. When it evolves, we get Avalugg. Ground freeze, 80 damage. Your opponent can't play stadium cards from their hand during their next turn. Really, really liking the stadiums on this thing. And then Skull Bash, 100 damage for 4 energy, 1 water, 3 colorless. Why? Could we not have just had a half decent Avalugg to go with it and have like a pretty nice little deck? No? No, we cannot. Oh god. Right, so Volcanion Prism Star. Thoughts on the shininess of the Prism Star? It looks lovely. Colours on it
great.
Color on it's great. Yeah, we should leave it at we should probably leave it at that. So abilities, Jet Geyser, which it could have been so good. It could have been so good, but it's just not. Right, once during your turn before you attack, you may discard a water energy from your hand. If you do, your opponent switches their active Pokemon with their bench. If you got to choose, this would be amazing. This would be a staple one of in every water deck. It's a Lysander. It's amazing, but it's not. It's bad.
But there is a case for it being it should have been a Lysander to begin with, because it's a Prism Star. You can only play one of them.
Yeah.
If you could play 4 of them and they were just Lysander, fair enough. But if it's a one of,
and you're having to discard a water energy, so it's not as if you're even getting it for free. You know.
Exactly.
It's such a shame. Sauna Bomb is its attack, 3 water energy, 100 damage. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Not an awful attack. It's not awful. I mean,
yeah, it's not awful.
In something like a water deck, it could be a nice basic to throw in. But it's 3 hard attaches with water energy. You're discarding water energies. There's not really. I suppose you could discard them for aqua patches. Like,
yeah, that's the one thing you could say with it, I suppose.
I don't know, Jacob. You play a lot of water decks. Is there anything you can see this in?
I think I would definitely try it, because obviously you've got your aqua patch. You can max elixir to it as a basic. So if you were wanting to go for the 3 attack, I think if I was using it. Yeah, I think if I was using it, I would use it for the ability only. To be truly honest, but I would need to see it first.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because if you chose the Pokemon, even if it was discard 2 water energies, or like discard 2 cards from your hand or something like that, it could be a really nice, ability. If it was discard 2 cards from your hand, and you got to choose. That would be really nice. That would be a really, really nice attack.
I think we could make it work. It might take a bit of trial and error.
So close.
Yeah, I definitely think it could.
Yeah. Next,
I'm going to stay positive on it.
Yeah, I think there's a few cards in this set that I would like to stay positive on in the hope that they could be good, but there's definitely a lot coming lower in the list, especially around about the trainers, that are going to be sweet. There's a lot of nice cards in this set, but there's not a lot of standout like best decks in format, if you're asking me. Araquanid, is it bad? Bubble, 30 damage, flip a coin. Yeah, it's bad. Flip a coin if your opponent's now paralyzed, 30 damage, bad. Bubble Trap for double colorless energy, 40 damage. If any of your Pokemon use Bubble during the last turn, it's going to do 80 more damage, so 120. eh.
Meh.
Which, in a way, it's if you get Guzma'd out, it's saying if any of your Pokemon. So, for example,
Yeah.
you use Bubble one turn, it's sort of saving that. But for 120 damage,
What has bubble?
worth.
Froakie?
Froakie. It's ridiculous though that the bubble is a water energy and the bubble trap is a double colorless. So you can't. It takes 2 attachments no matter what you do.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, let's move on swiftly from that because that's bad. Next reprint is Electric Type Magnezone. Now, why they bother doing this when we already have an Electric Type Magnezone with the magnetic circuit ability in standard? I have no idea. They could have maybe waited until the next set for this, or like rotation at least. We already have one of these that doesn't get used, right?
Exactly, it sees no play, so it's a great ability.
On
but
a metal
what you gonna put it
Pokemon.
on? Raikou? I mean, come on.
Oh, it's so, yeah. That seems like pointless jank that they're adding into the set. Like, I get giving stuff alternate typings is a nice idea, but come on, Pokemon, we didn't need everything.
Yeah, not 2 sets back to back.
No,
if
like-
they had waited a set or 2.
Yeah, like we have that. We have basically Magnezone in standard that has an electric type one from Breakpoint, which has roughly that ability. It does the exact same thing. It might not be called Magnetic Circuit, but I think it is. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't.
It is magnetic circuit.
Yeah. Oh, it's just bum. Heliolisk, what do you do? 1 colorless Gnaw for 20 damage. Okay. And then 3 colorless Shockwave, 80 damage, flip a coin of heads, the defend. Yeah, that's bad. Moving swiftly on. Xurkitree, I remember being reasonable. So, 1 lightning energy, 20 and confusion. Now, that's not bad. That alone on its own isn't bad. If you're playing some sort of denial deck, this could be a pretty nice inclusion.
Yeah.
And then Cable Ram for 100 damage. If you've got 3 prize remaining, it's it's automatic paralysis for 2 lightning and a colorless. Sorry. Nah.
It's quite a lot for 3 attachment. But the first attack, if you think about Espeon,
That's
you know,
what come
it
into my
does-
head, yeah.
Yeah, 30 damage and confusion on a stage 1. Okay, it's got the ability to evolve up in the first turn or whatever, but that does see a bit of use.
Mhm.
And this is one of the pre-release promos, isn't it?
It is, yes.
So like this kind of thing is pretty decent in a pre-release because you remember Spinder back in, I think, was it base?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was base, and that thing was
Yeah.
so frustrating because I think it just confused for an energy. It
Yeah,
was
it
just
was like
just straight
colourless.
confusion.
Confusion. I think it did 30 damage or
Oh, did it?
20 or 30. I can't quite remember, but it was good. You know, it has a use.
Definitely. I was going to search. I'm pretty sure that was Sun and Moon base. I'm kind of interested to see what that actually did. It was.
I always find it quite sad when you've got a card that's good in pre-release and you like having it, and then you just know it's never
Yeah,
going to work.
It
in a
was 1
competitive format.
energy. So Spinda from pre-release Sun and Moon base for a colorless energy did 30 damage and confusion.
Psybeam.
Yeah, it's exactly Psybeam. It's called Teeter Punch. Like, so what you're telling me, Pokemon, is that a Spinda can punch me and confuse me for more damage than a Xurkitree. What? Am I missing something here? Like, come on. Oh, okay.
You're missing the power of Spinda, obviously.
Clearly. Oh, what have I done? Don't wreck the place, John. That one. Yeah, that's a shame. Probably one of the the pre-release promos aren't really exciting me. We'll get onto that in a second. There's only really one that's exciting me, and I think we all know what that is. But the rest of them are just not that great. We're getting another reprint here. It's Psychic type Rotom.
Whoa.
There you
Oh
go.
boy.
Jacob's favourite. 9 or more tool cards in the discard pile. Ignore attack costs. So Plasma Slash would essentially be free. and would be 120 damage, can't use it during the next turn. I mean, it's one more card for the Rotom deck. It's a Psychic type as well, which I don't think the Rotom deck has.
No.
Well, the only thing is the Rotom deck, you would usually pair Gourgeist with it.
Yeah, that's a
He's
good
a
point.
Psychic type.
Yeah, that's
so,
a good point.
I mean, he's a free Psychic type tech attacker for any deck that you're playing 9 or more tools in. I don't know how many decks that is, but it's something.
You might struggle to find that one. We're getting onto some Psychic Pokemon now. So we've got an Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit. All of which have pretty low HP, 60, 70, 60 respectively. What do we do? So Uxie, I'll go through them all together because I'm pretty sure they have some sort of synergy. Uxie is going to do, for 1 Psychic Energy, 30 damage. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't use this attack, which is pretty decent. Mesprit, ability, if you have Azelf in play, your opponent's Pokemon have no resistance. And then for double colourless energy, Mind Splash, 20 damage. If there's an Uxie on your bench, you're going to do an extra 50 damage, so 70 for a double colourless. And Azelf, Psychic Abduction, you only use this attack if you go second and only in the first turn. Shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to it into their deck. That's pretty nasty. And Hypno Wave for 10 damage. Your opponent's active is now asleep. So, honestly, there could be a little bit of a deck here. Basically, having Uxie in the active attacking. That's not Uxie, that's Uxie. Having Uxie in the active and attacking and denying their denying their kind of one attack. So if you're against something like a Zoroark, you're going to be denying it using Riotous Beating, and then having Mesprit and Azelf on the bench means they've got no resistance. It's not great.
No, I mean, there's maybe a wee kind of fun side deck in there if you particularly like those Pokemon, but there's nothing that competitive about it.
There's none even that I think I would use on their own.
No.
Surely we get better Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie. Surely that's not it. Like, because these are bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a shame. That's a shame. Right. Oh god, I hate this thing. Right, Meowstick. I've just noticed this.
I know what you've
Stage
noticed.
1 evolves from Creepy Cat from Heck.
And that is the perfect description. If you haven't seen the Esper art, it is horrendous. It's terrifying.
It's quite creepy, isn't it? Oh, so what do, you little creepy cat thing? So basic Pokemon Esper. 1 Psychic Energy play. Move an energy attached to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. That's kind of bad.
Yep.
And then Meowstick. Teleport Break, 20 damage. Switch with one of your bench. Okay. Psychic. And it's 30 damage. 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's not great. It's not great. You've got better options for Psychic, like Espeon, off the top of my head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Garbodor.
Let's skip that. Okay, Aegislash has Honedge, 2 of them. Is it 2 Honedge? Yeah. Yeah, 2 Honedge. I looked at that funny there. So, first Honedge, 60 HP, Metal Sound for Psychic Energy. Opponent's active is now confused. It's fine. The other Honedge is 50 HP, but if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is knocked out by damage from your opponent's Pokemon, put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's pretty okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then 3 Psychic Energy for Slash for 50 damage. And then Doublade, put 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon with any tools attached. Okay. And then Aegislash. Is it all worth it? Record of Death. Wow.
It's a very cool name.
Wow, okay. Psychic, just colourless energy. If the defending Pokemon is damaged by an attack during your next turn, it is knocked out. What? Okay.
Yeah, so as long as it's damaged.
If the defending Pokemon is damaged, so that if your opponent's Pokemon, if your opponent was to switch, would that effect carry over?
No.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, going to the bench removes all effects, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
because it's still classed as that.
Whoever's active.
Okay. The active Pokemon would need to stay active, and then Draining Slash, 30 damage, heal 30. I mean, that was almost it was almost really good.
Mhm.
I feel as if Aegislash Slash had that like before or something similar to it.
There was Doom news on Absol.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Aegislash, you were almost quite good. Oh, here we go. We're at the main event, guys.
Oh yeah.
We're at the main event. We're at the main event. Malamar evolves from Inky, has a Inky with 60 HP, Hypnosis. For one psychic, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Malamar, this is the card, and it's going to be super easy to get, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So Malamar, 90 HP, ability Psycho Recharge. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon, and then Missile Ray doesn't even matter. We're playing this for the ability. We're playing it in Ultra Necrozma, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to wreck.
I think we do need to bear in mind that it is to your benched Pokemon. It's not to your active. So something like a Dawn Wings Necrozma is going to be essential in that deck.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's going to be so easy to get though, because we've got Malamar's going to be a pre-release promo, and there's also non-holo Malamars in the pre-release sets as well. So picking up a pre-release set, you've got a good chance of getting like one or two Malamars. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm a huge fan of this, and even though it is to the bench, you've got Guzma, you've got Acerola, so if you can get two Ultra Necrozmas going, it's not that difficult, I suppose.
I'm going to put you guys in the spot right now, though. Right, we have Ultra Necrozma is a pretty obvious pairing. What else do we pair it with?
That's a really good question.
Because it is a good ability.
Lunala,
yeah, that's a very good shout.
Because then you've got your transfer, so you can attach it to your bench, then transfer it to your active.
That's not a bad idea.
And if you're going to build a Lunala deck, that might be the one time that Giratina Prism Star sees play.
Yep, because you're going to use lots of energy, and you can just drop Giratina Prism Star, put 2 energy on it, psychic transfer it all around. You can attack with Lunala. Lunala's actually got pretty reasonable attack on its GX. It's like knock out a non-GX Pokemon or something like that. Just knock it out. Which is a pretty reasonable attack, especially if you're going up against EX Pokemon. Because I don't think it distinguishes. I think you can knock out an EX Pokemon if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, definitely. Like a Psychic Box deck with Lunala, Malamars, it could work. Something like Mewtwo GX was what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Mewtwo GX could be good with it.
Mewtwo GX has the attack that does more damage for each energy attached to it, so you could power up Mewtwo's on the bench, use the Dawn Wings Necrozma we talked about earlier, jump in the active, retreat with Floatstone, and then your Mewtwo's doing all the damage you need it to do. I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head, but that's really about it. But yeah, definitely Malamar, get a playset as soon as possible. That is going to be such a nice card, and it's going to keep cropping up. It's going to keep coming up in decks because it's going to be one of those little nasty cards that just keep popping up. And we had a Bronzong not too long ago, just before I started playing. There was a Bronzong with, I think it was called Metal Lynx, and it did basically this, and it just made any metal Pokemon usable. It made any metal Pokemon suddenly usable and good. So definitely something to watch out for is this Malamar card. What else do we have? Dragalge. Ability, if your active Pokemon is damaged by an attack, even if the Pokemon is knocked out, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. Twister, Psychic, colorless, 60 damage, flip 2 coins. If heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. For each heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active. If they're both tails, the attack fails.
Nope.
I mean, that might actually be alright.
It's good for a poison deck.
I'm not even thinking about the poison aspect of it, I'm thinking about the energy denial aspect of it, because you can use Victini.
Well, yeah, if you're going to play it with Victini, that's the way you can make it viable for sure.
You can definitely make this viable. Use stuff like Victini to reflip the coins, deny all the energy, because it is... Yeah, it's discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, which is a bit of a shame, because you can't just discard them from anywhere. But if you combine this with something like Crushing Hammers, Enhanced Hammers, all that sort of good stuff, even Flare Grunts and stuff like that, and just deny your opponent out of the game, this could be a denial deck. We're seeing Sylveon denial come around quite a lot because of its ability to just grab stuff from the deck, Crushing Hammer, reuse them with puzzles and stuff like that. And this is definitely something that could be used in the same kind of vein, but with different cards, obviously.
Potentially.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on. Baby Hoopa.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Did
no.
you not see that it says evolves from Discount Horsey?
I did not see that. Pokebeach are always adding in stuff like that, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I missed that. Hoopa with the worst art I've ever seen. What is that? It's Hoopa eating donuts. What's going on, man? Right. Hoopa hyperspace ring for one psychic.
That Hoopa looks like Cartman from South Park.
It does.
It does. It really does.
It looks like Cartman in a Halloween costume.
It's definitely Cartman, man. Oh no. Hyperspace ring, search your deck for 2 item cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Cyble, 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads, your active Pokemon is now paralyzed. I can't see why you would use this card.
No. I mean, getting 2 items into your hand is nice,
N.
but it's an attack.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, opponent, I have 2 item cards in my hand that I really want. Okay, I'll try and get rid of them then.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's not great. What a shame. Here we go. Naganadel GX and Poipole. Now, these were brand new Pokemon added in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and they are the first Ultra Beast that evolves, bar technically Solgaleo, but won't go into that. So Poipole starts with 70 HP, which is awesome, and it has 2 attacks: Spit, Poison for 1 colorless. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, which is pretty alright. And Corpse Reviver. If this Pokemon is knocked out during your opponent's next turn, your opponent does not take a prize card. Okay.
That's pretty good.
I like that as well, because it means you can pretty safely start adding on your energies to Poipoles if you're going to use this attack, and then you don't need to worry about giving up prize cards. And then Naganadel GX, which is probably one of my favourite cards coming out of this set.
Completely agree.
1 colorless energy beast right, 20 damage. This attack does 20 damage for each Ultra Beast you have in play. This is now going to be... It's going to be a thing with every Ultra Beast deck, but definitely something like Buzzwole. You can then even play stuff like Kartana GX to discard a special energy. It's going to max out at 120, but because it's a Psychic type, you can hit weakness on a lot of big threats in the format. It's a nice card. It's
really good.
Psychic double colorless, Jet Tackle, 110 damage, not affected by resistance. We'll take it. That's fine. And then probably one of the most broken GX attacks we have had. This is nuts. 3 colorless energy, so it can go in any deck. You can play this in any deck, especially decks that play double colorless energy. It's going to be really nice. Each player shuffles their prize cards into their deck. Then each player takes 3 prize cards from the top of their deck, puts them face down as their prize cards. That is it. It basically resets the game to 3 prize cards apiece. You could play this when your opponent's taken 5 prize cards and you've taken none. This is
it's
busted.
it's mental how good that is. The only one downside of it is that you use that attack, you go to 3 prizes, and then your opponent obviously gets their turn. So if they can take the knockout on the Naganadel or another GX, they go to 1.
Yeah.
That's the
But
only downside.
in the situation where your opponent already had 1 and you had 6 prize cards remaining, you've taken 3 prize cards with this GX deck.
Yeah,
for
which is
free.
very true.
For free. And also told your opponent, take a knockout on that Naganadel. For this 210 HP Pokemon that's just going to rock out, man. I love it. I think it's really, really good. I see obvious partners with Buzzwole. I see obvious partners with like metal stuff, so that you can use Ultra Dunwings. No, the other Necrozma.
Ultra Necrozma.
Nope, the other one.
Duskmane.
Yeah, you can definitely use it with Duskmane, Necrozma, and Kartana and stuff like that. Make a bit of a metals deck around it. It's nice, man. It's a really, really nice card.
I mean, if you think about the meta just now, what are the 2 big decks? Zoroark plus whatever,
Yeah.
and Buzzwole, and plus whatever, Lycanroc
Yeah.
or Lucario, whatever it is. So you're getting your psychic weakness with Naganadel to take out Buzzwoles, and you're getting your darkness weakness with Buzzwole to take out Zoroarks. So putting those 2 together is just going to be amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's, for me, probably the best, if not one of the best cards coming out of this set.
I completely agree. It's that and Ultra Necrozma are right at the top of my list.
Yeah, they're definitely ones that are going to be expensive. They're definitely ones that are going to be the harder cards to find, and I'm totally okay with that. I really like it. Quickly run through these because a lot of these are reprints. Quick shout out to Cubone because it's beautiful art. I love me a Cubone. We've got a fighting type of Torterra. We've seen this in Ultra Prism as a grass type. Okay, like the grass type doesn't get played. I doubt the fighting type one will either.
Yep.
I think it will to fight Zoroark.
Okay.
It's a stage 2 and it's fighting colourless though, so it needs 3 attachments to get going.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I know it's clunky, but it's a powerful one. If you're hitting 50 damage, you're timesing that by 2 on Zoroark. So that's 100 damage, and you're healing for 100.
You can also boost that with stuff like Strong Energies, with Diancie Prism Star, which we're going to talk about in a minute, with Regirock GX. It's definitely better than the grass type one, like we've seen with the that one earlier we were talking about that was better as a new type. Palkia is definitely better than like similar state there. It's better as its new type, but I just don't know if it's even remotely viable yet. I'd like it to be.
With you.
I'd like it to be because I really like Torterra, but I
to
just
be fair, there is a deck with Promo Lurantis with the grass one.
yeah.
So they're both.
I suppose it
okay
is
to an
less
extent.
clunky than the Promo Lurantis one though, like Jacob said.
Yeah,
like,
that is true.
it's definitely better. I just don't know if it's good enough.
I think it might have been a lot better if it was a stage 1.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
definitely it would be 10 times better, but it's still quite fat energy costs as well, like 3 energy for 50 damage, although obviously you're healing, but still I don't know. And then we also get a fighting type Infernape. Again, Infernape didn't see play as a fire type. I think it's going to see even less play as a fighting type. I did try and make the Infernape deck work. It's not great.
Yeah.
Promise you, it's not great. Although I can't. Trying to work out what is the arms and what is the legs of that Pokemon is a weird one. Anyway, we get fighting type Garchomp. Now, this one I do think is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is good.
I know Jacob and I both played the Dragon type Garchomp at pre-release last time. I can't remember if you played it as well, Ian, but we definitely played it at some point, and I thought it was a really, really nice card, the Dragon type one, with Cynthia, with the Lucario. It's a nice deck. I actually ran the Dragon type as a deck for a while, but the Fighting type is just going to be so much nicer. It's going to be so much better.
I've got all the cards for the Dragon type one. I've got a version of it online. I've played it a fair bit, and it's a nice deck. And when you get your Lucarios up and running, and you're just going through and taking whatever you want, it's good.
Yeah.
But you're right, Fighting type, man, strong energy, let's go Zoroark kind of thing.
Yeah. It's definitely got to be worth a try as a Fighting type. It's got to be much better as a Fighting type than as a Dragon type, I would imagine, at least. Yeah, I won't run through what those attacks do. If people have already seen them before, do you know what I mean? They are reprints. We got a reprint of Toxicroak as well. This was one that Sven played in his Poison deck, and it's now a Fighting type. Really?
It's tough to make
it's
that
even
work.
Harder to make work now. The Settle the Score attack, it still reads if any of your Psychic Pokemon were knocked out by a damage from attack. It does 70 more damage. It would be nice if that now said Fighting Pokemon, so that you could use it with the Fighting Krogunk.
Was the Psychic Krogunk not if your Fighting Pokemon are knocked out though?
Oh god, maybe.
And they've inverted it like that.
Oh god, maybe. That is a good point, actually. I think you might be right.
Because it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing you might say is that you could play it, it's double colourless. If they knocked out your Tapu Lele and then you attach DCE, you would one-shot a Zoroark, but how often are you going to hit that situation?
That's so tough.
It's not worth spaces in the deck for it.
Nah, that's way too tough.
See, because the way Sven plays it, he plays... is it Jirachi? Shining Jirachi that lets you do attacks from previous evolutions.
Shining Celebi,
Shining Celebi, sorry. So what he would do is he would poison you, and then he would use Shining Celebi to use Krogunk.
Yeah.
I want to say Breakpoint, and you basically increase the poison damage by 3, and it can be stacked. So you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times, you're taking 100 damage every turn from poison.
I mean, it's a really fun and cool idea.
Definitely.
The problem with these kind of status condition decks is that Guzma and Acerola are things, and it's easy to move around to get out of it.
But consider it, how many of you play Palpad? So if you're burning through your Acerolas and your Guzmas straight away, so I understand where you're coming from, but it's hard to maintain that.
Yeah.
It's probably harder to maintain from
difference.
the poison deck's end than it is to maintain from the other player's end. That was all I would say.
Yeah,
it's a tough deck to make work at a high level, but it's definitely a fun deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a lot of fun. Moving quickly on, because I've already realised that we've actually been at this for like an hour already. So, Pancham, Evolving Basic, we won't talk about that. Barbarical, this is a weird one. Fighting Colourless, 7 Shock, 30 damage. If you have 7 cards in your hand, your active Pokemon is now your opponent's active is now paralysed.
This card's gonna hate rotation when we don't have Sycamore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How else do you play this?
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
Well, the answer is you just don't.
Yeah, you just don't play it. That's true. So true. This one I like. This one I do like. So Tyrantrum is going to be stage 2 again, just like Aurora's earlier. Will evolve from unidentified fossil. Tyranno Heart. If you have the same amount or fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, this Pokemon's attack do 60 more damage and take 30 less damage from attacks. That is a nice ability. That's a really nice ability, and it's something you can control quite well. And then the next attack, Fight, colourless, 100 damage, discard an energy from your opponent's active. So that's 2 really nice, like a really nice ability, quite a nice attack as well. You can use stuff like counter energy with this Pokemon. You can use super boost energy with this Pokemon. It's not bad, man.
No, I like it. I think it's pretty interesting, and it's got 160 HP, but it's really 190 if you can control your bench properly, and that's tough to knock out.
It would be nice to see this do something like the Talonflame Rampardos deck I played. It might be nice to try this in that deck rather than Rampardos. Use Tyrantrum and see if that does any better, because once you get one or two of these things out, you might find that it's a lot harder to knock out than what Rampardos was.
Yeah.
And it will probably be doing a lot more damage as well.
Yeah, and the energy, discarding the energy off the opponent's Pokemon isn't something to kind of sniff at either.
Yeah,
think about Drampa.
It's significant. It's definitely significant. I like that card.
Mm.
I was actually hoping we seen this as a pre-release promo way back before they got announced, because I would have liked to have played this in a more controlled format to see if I could maybe make it work there.
I would love to play this in pre-release.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
It'd be great.
It's such a nice card, and Tyrantrum's just cool.
Yeah, he's basically a T-Rex. What more do you want?
Holucha is bad. Yeah, that's just bad.
Is a shame.
Let's just skip that. That's bad. Zygarde dog form is also bad. Peacemaker 30 damage. If your opponent has any Ultra Beasts in play, it does 30 more. So 60 damage if you got an Ultra Beast in play. Trying to work out a way that you could actually get a knockout with that, but you can't. 60 damage? Nope. Oh, nah, yeah, it's bad. Okay, Zygarde slug form. Glare 20 damage, flip a coin if hits the opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. Calm Strike 60 plus. If you have used your GX attack for the game, it does another 60, but it's still fighting double colorless.
I mean, I suppose there is some synergy with Zygarde GX and Bonnie.
Yeah,
I guess maybe, but you would just use Zygarde GX, wouldn't you?
Yeah, let's talk about Zygarde GX. This is a good one. This is one that I think we'll all enjoy.
Definitely.
Double colorless energy. Cell Connector, 50 damage, attach 2 fighting energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon, which could be worse. It's something you can use turn 1 of the game. It's something that if you can get going turn 1, you can basically be charged up and ready to go for the entire game, and you can get away with attaching extra energy turn 1 to something. Obviously going second. It's not bad. It's not bad. And then Land's Wrath for double fighting, double colorless, 130 damage, just vanilla straight up. Judgment GX, 150 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes no damage from the attacks of Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX, which is really, really nice when you pair it with the supporter Bonnie, as Ian mentioned. And Bonnie basically just says, discard a stadium card in play during this turn. Zygarde GX may use its GX attack again, even if it's already used its GX attack for the game. This is a deck. This is a deck.
Totally a deck.
And is made and ready to go for you just with the cards that are there. It's a deck.
What about partners? Do you think it needs a partner?
Maybe Zoroark.
I see, yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? You need to try and smooth out those inconsistencies, and Zoroark's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
It's probably far too clunky to work, but what I would really like to see if someone could pull it off was this with Garchomp and Lucario, so that you can just precognitive aura for the Bonnie for the stadium.
Yeah.
Just sit one Garchomp on the bench, a couple of Lucarios, and go. It's far too clunky to work, but I think it would be really cool if someone could pull it off.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit clunky.
I'll try it.
I know you will.
It could be alright, actually. Like, I'd never thought about using it with something like that. It might be a kind of long road for a shortcut. Simply because you can do stuff like Bonnie Palpad, Bonnie Palpad, you know what I mean? And just cycling back with Palpads. I think Zoroark GX is going to be a really nice partner for Zygarde, and I think it's going to be a really powerful deck. If you can stream Bonnies every turn, you're essentially immune from GXs, and you have 200 HP. Like, that's nasty.
Yeah, it's extremely good.
I mean, if you really wanted to go the route of Fighting Fury Belt, you can even Fighting Fury Belt that to 240 HP. However, you're probably going to want a... Well, you could Fighting Fury Belt. Brings your GX attack up to 160, and then you could use stuff like Diancie Prism Star, which we'll talk about next, and Regirock EXs to bring that attack up even further. You could do something like that. And it could be that you basically just have one Zygarde that kind of runs the game for you, and then you just boost it with stuff on your bench. Like, that could be another way of doing it. But I definitely see just throwing on a choice band and just doing 180.
Yeah. What about stadiums? The obvious one's Brooklet Hill. So
yeah, you're going to want Brooklet Hill.
If you play 4 Brooklet Hill, for argument's sake, because you want to discard them, what other stadiums do you put in? I mean, Parallel City?
Parallel City jumps to my head straight away, because Parallel City is just a broken stadium. The Scorched Earth is another one.
Scorched Earth, yeah, that could be a good one. That could be a really good one, actually.
Yeah, because it's giving you your draw support with it as well.
Yeah, so if you weren't going to use... If you didn't want to use Zoroark, you could definitely use that instead, because you would run a heavier line of stadium cards. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything that benefits from having a lot of stadium cards, but I don't think there is.
No.
There's nothing that's like free attack if you have 9 stadium cards in your discard pile. You know,
no, sadly not.
No. Still though, this is a deck, and it's going to be a powerful deck. It's going to be an annoying deck to play against, and you're going to need to start taking in these non-GX Pokemon to really deal with a lot of these threats that are coming out. Stuff like Hoopa, stuff like Ninetales, now Zygarde are going to be... They're going to be about. They're always going to be in the format now. And it's going to be something that we really need to bear in mind. I think it's a really nice thing that Pokemon are doing, because it means that we don't just have this GX power creep, that the GXs just are always there, they're always good, kind of like EXs were. There was only really one denial deck I can think of with EXs, and it was really easy to get around it. And that was the Regice thing and all that sort of bad, nasty stuff. The Jolteons and the Glaceon EXs and all that sort of stuff that were denial cards, but even then that wasn't a great deck. But we're now seeing several pretty reasonable decks coming out that are these like denial GX decks, and I think they're really good. I think they're really good for the format, because people need to bear in mind to add in stuff like Baby Zoroarks and Zoroark Breaks and all this sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
Moving swiftly on to Diancie Prism Star. This is good. Diancie Prism Star is probably the best Prism Star we've got. Abilities Princess Veil, it's the only reason you're going to be using it. If this Pokemon is on your bench, your fighting Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage. I mean,
it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's a double Regirock EX for a 1 prize Pokemon. Okay, absolutely. You only get to use it once, but you can Brooklet Hill to bring it out. It's a nice card.
It's great. Surely it's a one-of in pretty much every fighting deck.
I would think so. Because it's all of your fighting Pokemon. It's not even just basic fighting Pokemon. Definitely a one-of in any fighting deck. Moving on, we have Lycanroc. Damn, this set was bigger than I thought it was going to be. We have Lycanroc. This is another one of those pre-release promos, and it's reasonable. Dangerous Rogue's going to do 20 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It's similar to Dangerous Rogue GX, but it's just a little bit weaker.
Baby Rogue.
Baby Dangerous Rogue, yeah. And then we've got Excel Rock for 100 damage, fighting colorless. I mean, that's not going to get played, is it?
No. You're better playing the other Baby Lycanroc from whatever set it was.
Buzzwole. This is a good one. Sledgehammer for 1 fighting, 30 damage. If your opponent's Pokemon has 4 prize cards remaining, this does 90 more. Bringing this thing out and just swinging like midway through the game is really going to sting. It's going to be a real big attack to do 120 damage for 1 energy is always fun, especially on a basic. And then swing around 10 damage, 80 damage, flip 2 coins. This attack does 20 damage for each of the heads. It's not bad.
I think this is actually really quite good. I mean, I would put it in the Buzzwole Naganadel deck we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
And
it can be your one basic attacker.
Exactly. You one-shot a Zoroark. You've got an answer for things like Hooper. It's got 130 HP, so its beating isn't going to get it without a Kukui or something like that. I think it's really good. And with things like Strong Energy and Dancy Prism Star, you can one-shot Hoopas easily enough.
In this meta, it definitely sees play. There's definitely use for it. And the fact that it does have that Ultra Beast tag is really nice because it does boost Naganedel's abilities. It does make Naganedel's attack hit a little bit harder. So it's a nice card to just sit on the bench, boost damage, do all that sort of nice stuff. And asking you to bring that out when your opponent's when your opponent has 4 prize cards remaining is a lot easier than asking you to bring this out when like your opponent has 1 prize card remaining, like we've seen earlier.
Definitely. And
pre-release, if you pull this thing, like first turn of the game, you're talking 120 damage for 1 energy.
Do you know, I never even thought about that. That is gonna kill in pre-release.
If someone pulls that at pre-release, man, that's card of the day. I'm telling you.
Because I kept thinking to myself that this was a pre-release promo. I kept getting confused with Lycanroc, and now I just realised why it's not.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be so busted. Yeah, nice art on it as well. Much better than the GX art, in my opinion. Yeah. Pangoro, what do you do? Frenzied Punch, 50 damage. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, it does 50 more damage. Both this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon are now confused. Okay, that's bad. That's just bad. And then, it's bad. It's bad. Let's skip this. Yveltal GX.
Which is also bad.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a shame, because how good has it been in the past?
I think this is the worst Yveltal we've ever seen.
Definitely.
1 Darkness Energy, absorb life, 20 damage. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage that you've done. There's no way to boost Dark Pokemon's attacks. The most you're going to heal from that is like 50.
Yeah.
There's no way of boosting Dark Pokemon like that I can think of. Nah, there's not. And then 3 Colorless Energy, Evil Sonic GX, 100 damage, not affected by weakness or resistance. So bad again, because you can't, even on dark weak Pokemon, you can't take a knockout. Like, it's bad. And then 1 Darkness Energy GX, Death Count GX. If your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 4 damage counters on it, it is knocked out. Exactly 4.
So you can't even Evil Sonic and then GX because you're doing more than 4 damage.
You have to life absorb twice and then GX.
Or Tapu Koko twice.
Oh, brutal.
I mean, you can't
jank.
even pull down Tapu Koko.
You can't even change this thing's type and make it good.
No.
Like, that's just bad. It's just a bad, that's just jank. Jacob's excited. Here we go.
Oh, this is Jacob's boy coming up.
Whoop, whoop.
4 Darkness
I will make this work.
4 Darkness Energy, King's Valley, 160 damage. If you have 6, 4, or 2 prize cards remaining, discard the top 10 cards of your deck.
It's so bad.
So.
Oh, your deck? I thought it was your opponent's deck.
No, it's your deck.
Oh no! I swear when I read that the first time, I thought that was opponent's deck. I didn't realise it was yours. That was why I was like, I'm totally going to play that.
It's not good, is it?
It's like
so
mild deck on
bad.
speed.
It's so bad. Let's skip along.
Okay, I take it, but just skip it. Just pretend it's not there. Just go.
We have
What's the next one? Empoleon.
We have two metal Pokemon here, both of which are reprinted from the last set. We have got Empoleon from Ultra Prism, and it's nice. It's a metal Pokemon. It's probably better as a water type, but having the alternate typeness, alternate typeness. We'll stick with it. We'll go with it. We'll roll with it. We'll pretend it made sense. Having the alternate type really does hit. We've been at this for like an hour and 20 minutes. Like, I'm losing it a little bit. Having the alternate type is really nice in any deck, so it's okay. Like, I would definitely play one of in the Napoleon water deck. And
the problem is, how do you get the energy?
counter energy.
I suppose.
I would play if I was playing Napoleon, I would be playing at least 2 copies of counter energy in there anyway. Simply for a one-off attack, boom, I'm back in the game.
I suppose in that sense, fair enough.
That would be the only way I could see doing it. Dialga GX, better as a metal type as opposed to dragon, as we spoke about earlier.
I'm not sure about that, to be honest. And it comes down to weakness, I think, because
Sorry, I was actually going to say I completely agree with you. At least when you've got your dragon, you do have that alternative weakness instead of running heavy metal.
Yeah, I suppose nothing's really weak to metal either. Nothing that I'm thinking about.
Well, I mean, fairy, so...
Yeah, but there's nothing really in the format. Like, Gardevoir, really, is it?
Sylveon, Glaceon...
Even then, Gardevoir, you're only knocking out with the GX tech.
Yeah.
Because Shred doesn't... Oh no, Shred does. It's not affected by effects on your opponent's active, so it will be affected by weakness.
So you get into.
So yeah, maybe it isn't as good.
The choice band.
Maybe it isn't as good.
It's just, I mean, fire is probably going to see a bit of an increase if metal Pokemon start to get really, really good, as we're kind of expecting. So I think having the alternate weakness is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Oh well, Dialga, you're in the jank as well. Sorry, buddy.
Pretty much.
We have a line for our fairy types. We're getting close to the end now, guys. We're getting close to the end. We're getting a fairy line, and it is Flabébé to Florges. 2 Flabébé, 1 with 30 HP, but it has the ability Head Start Evolution. This Pokemon can evolve in the turn it was played. If it's the first turn of the player going second, which is something, I guess. Then the next one has choose 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile. So it's Super Rod.
Super Rod on an attack.
Super Rod on an attack. GG.
Ridiculous.
GG. Floette. 1 Fairy Petal Spin. Switch your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active. Switch one of your opponent's bench, so you get to pick, which is pretty decent. So it's Lysander on an attack.
That's
Guzma. Because then switch your Pokemon with
Oh
one of your
god,
bench.
so it goes. Yeah, okay, that's not even that great either. And then Florges. Is it worth it? Wonder Gift. During this turn, before you attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, put an item card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. It's not even to your hand. Oh, and then Misguard. 70 damage. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Dragon Pokemon. Yep. That's that.
Maybe that alternate type Dialga is better.
Yeah.
If you come up against this.
Yeah. No. It's not. Because your whole deck's probably already steel to just destroy it. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
That's bad.
Sylveon, what do? Why are you a card? Wink. Your opponent reveals their hand. You may discard a supporter card you find there. If you do, use the effect of that supporter card as this attack.
I think that's great.
That's nasty.
It's so good.
So you're not only discarding your opponent's Cynthia, you're using a Cynthia for yourself.
And you've already used the supporter for your turn, so it's essentially playing 2 supporters. Okay, you aren't doing any damage, but you're seeing a lot of cards.
That could be pretty awesome.
And you're denying your opponent.
How do we use it? Do we use it in Sylveon denial decks?
I think maybe, but the issue there is, if you've got the choice between this or Sylveon GX Magical Ribbon, you're almost certainly going to take Magical Ribbon.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what other denial decks do we have? Maybe something like this. That's a card. We should definitely keep an eye on that thing, because that's going to be nasty. there's definitely some sort of support or denial going on there that could be pretty nasty. It could be a lot of fun.
If you had some kind of fairy box,
Yeah.
you could put it into. It would be nice in there.
Let's jump on to Denny with the jank artwork. What is going on here? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just heard mad sounds in my ear there. No, sorry. Did any find a friend? Search your deck for Pokemon. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Bad. But then Electric Chain, 30 damage plus. This attack does 30 more damage if you have a Lightning Pokemon on your bench. Yeah.
Now, the one thing you say about this is it's double colourless, so you can put it into any deck, obviously. A lot of decks are playing Tapu Koko, so that covers the Lightning Pokemon to get the damage up to 60.
Yeah.
And if Dragon ever becomes really good, it is an okay tech to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, if Dragonite GX becomes amazing, it helps you out. It's difficult to get the one shot, that's the only downside, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's something, perhaps.
I can't think of a use for it. I can't think of a use for it off the top of my head. It's not great. Klefki, pretty pointless. Opponent's active is now confused. Fairy Lock, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So confusion or retreat for yeah, it's bad. Xerneas, you're bad as well, aren't you?
Sadly, he is.
Run through 20 damage. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Okay. Fairy colorless or Horn, 120. Okay. Sanctuary GX. Move all damage counters from each of your Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's bad.
To be fair, the GX attack is good
But
as an
Ninetales has that.
attack. It's but
Ninetales
Ninetales
has
only
it.
moves it from Ninetales. So if you were playing this with
from each of your Pokemon.
if you're playing it with like Town, for example, there is something there that I mean that's not a terrible GX attack. The problem is the rest of the card's terrible.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Let's move quickly on because we still have we don't have that many Pokemon to cover, but we're getting into some good stuff here. Goomy. Ian, tell us about Goomy.
I'm very excited for Goomy. So 40 HP, basic dragon Pokemon. Sounds rubbish from that description, but its ability is Sticky Membrane. If this Pokemon's your active Pokemon, the attack cost of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks is colourless more. So it puts Riot's Beating up to 3, for example. It puts Jet Punch up to 2. I think this could be really, really good, and I'm going to play this with the Decidueye. That's my plan here. Goomy in the active, Energy Denial with Enhanced Hammer, Crushing Hammer, those kind of things. Build up Decidueyes behind it and snipe damage.
So
and it's going to be awesome.
It's so nasty.
Like, I'm not saying that it's going to be. It's not going to win Worlds. It's not going to be the greatest deck ever.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a lot of fun.
Such a weird deck idea. Like, what? Like, all you need to do is get one attack off, and you kill the Goomies. Like, that's all you need to do, and then you're not.
Prize.
oh, Ian.
I think it's going to be fun.
Okay. As long as you think it's going to be fun, I'm sure it'll be great.
Is it going to be like that deck that you thought was going to be fun online and lost 15 games in a row?
Oh no, that deck is jank though. That is such a bad deck.
The Goodra. The Goodra was almost good. Ability Hydration. Whenever you attach a water energy from your hand to this Pokemon, heal 20 damage. Pretty good. Soaking Horn, Water Fairy Colorless. 80 damage. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, it does another 80 damage. That's not bad.
It's not bad, and there's another card you can play with this, and it's I can't remember the name of the Pokemon. I think it might be Ribombee. and you heal 20 damage from one of your Pokemon during your turn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it is
I
a
played a
Rebombi.
deck online the other day that was playing Mega Altaria EX
Yep.
with that, and it was a really cool deck. I really liked it.
Definitely. There's definitely a deck there with that Rebombi. There's also the other Rebombi that gets you energy from the deck, which you can use to grab your water and your fairy energies. You can use counter energy in this. You can use the other one, super boost energy in this, because you are talking about stage 2 Pokemon. It's almost awesome. It's almost a really cool deck. It's just so hard to make all these little parts come together.
Absolutely.
It would have been nice if the unit energy had water and fairy cost in it, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's certain things that if the stars aligned, it could be a really nice deck, but I'm afraid it's just on the brink of jank, I think.
But you do get to play GOOMY.
You do get to play GOOMY.
It's got that going for it.
Moving swiftly on, the Big Daddy. Ultra Necrozma is the best card in this set. Are we agreed on that?
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to say?
I think this is the best card in the set. I think this thing is broken good, man. So it only has 2 attacks. Unlike every other GX, I think it only has 2 attacks. It is an Ultra Beast as well. 190 HP and a metal and psychic energy cost for both of its attacks. Photon Geyser is going to do 20 damage plus, and then discard all basic psychic energy from this Pokemon. This attack is going to do 80 more damage for each energy discarded in this way. That's why we were so excited about Malamar earlier. Every time you attach an energy with Malamar, you're talking another 80 damage. So you have something like 2 Malamar up. That's going to do 160. Then
180.
160 for the energies. 180, assuming that you're going to be using the attack. And then you choice band. You have you're attached for the turn as well, so you can attach for the turn and put that damage way up to 200 nods. There's one shot and everything in the game. This thing's nuts, man. This thing's absolutely nuts. And then its GX attack, if it wasn't good enough, its GX attack, Destructive Light GX, this attack can only be used if there's 6 or less total prize cards remaining in the game. So it's 6 prize cards between you and your opponent. Place 6 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. That in itself can take multiple prize cards.
Absolutely.
It's such a good card. It's definitely my card of the set. I think it's going to be... it's an early pick for me for regionals. It's an early pick for League Cups in the future. It's such a good card.
I completely agree, and I've got the exact same thought about regionals, cups, etc. for this. I'm saying it. I think this is going to be best deck in format.
Yeah,
I really do.
I would not be surprised.
It might see Gardevoir come back into favour. I mean, Gardevoir's never really gone away.
Yeah,
it's just not as dominant and as popular as it used to be. But it might see that come back.
Even then,
slightly.
though, like you take one shots on Gardevoir pretty easily.
You do, but obviously the weakness is a kind of a little bit of an issue. This is something that Dedenne we were talking about could be technically decks to play against. That being said, though, Dedenne gets you 60, Choice Band gets you 90, double to 180. It's still got 10 HP left. That 190 is so
very
important.
true. It's very true. That 190 does make this card absolutely busted. It's going to be, it's really just the perfect GX in my opinion. Shame it's only got one attacking move, and you don't have anything else to fall back on. You don't have maybe an attack for 1 metal energy that maybe does like 20 damage or something even. You have nothing to fall back on, but I don't think you need it. I think this card's just so good.
We're talking about Malamar, obviously, and I think that's the natural partner.
Yeah.
Some people have suggested Metagross.
Yep.
I don't think it works with Metagross. I think you're better with Malamar.
I would agree, however, Metagross does give the option of bringing back either energy.
Yeah, that is important.
What I find really interesting about that, though, is we used to play Metagross with one of Necrozma GX, like the original Necrozma GX, and now people are talking Metagross with the new Ultra Necrozma. I think that's just a really nice, like, a really nice thing to note. It's weird that could end up being a thing. Do you know what I mean?
That's pretty cool.
And I've also seen Necrozma being played with Duskmane Necrozma as well. It's weird that Necrozma and Metagross just seem to go really well together. That doesn't really sit well in my head, but I'm totally okay with it happening. Yeah, definitely my card of the set. Really interested to see what comes out of that. Arceus Prism Star. First commandment: prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks, excluding damage done to this Pokemon. Okay. Trinity Star, 30 damage. You can only use this attack if you have a grass, water, and lightning Pokemon on your bench. Search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like.
It's so bad.
Oh, so hard to use. Why is it so hard to use?
The only deck that's going to like this is surely Vikabulu.
Even then.
And even that, you need to play an Octillery.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Sorry, Arceus. You may be the god of Pokemon, but you're definitely not the god of this set. Diggersby though. 3 colourless energy, Mountain Rise, 60 damage. You may do 40 more damage if you do discard the top 2 cards of your deck. That's pretty okay in a pre-release.
Yeah.
And then Rock Tumble, 80 damage, flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 80 damage times the number of hits. It's just, yeah, we've seen cards like that before in the past. It's never going to see play.
Yeah.
Furfrou, 20 damage, draw until you have 5. Yeah, okay.
Again, in a pre-release, maybe not too bad.
Maybe. Noivern, 20 damage.
I like this.
Okay. 20 damage. Your opponent's Pokemon is now confused. 3 energy, resonance. You do 70 damage. If the defending Pokemon is confused, you do 70 more.
Yeah, I like it with Shine and Celebi because of Noibat's second attack.
Oh, okay.
Destructive Sound. Look at your opponent's hand. Discard all item cards you find there. It's gets
Okay.
us.
That's
It
pretty
just
nasty.
gets us
Yeah.
on an attack. And I mean, the obvious partner when you're thinking in those terms is Garbodor.
Garbodor Noibat.
Oh, that's mean.
Garbodor
That's
Noibat.
awesome. I'm not saying it's going to be super competitive or anything like that, but I think that could be a fun deck.
I hadn't thought about that. That's nasty.
Would you even need to go up to Noivern? Just stop at Noibat?
The only issue I think you might have is that 50 HP it gets knocked out so easily. I mean, Ho can snipe it with Sacred Fire. You know, it's maybe a little bit too fragile with just the 50. Would be my only worry, but maybe you'll need to do Destructive Sound once or twice to get your damage up for Trash Launch.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, if you're running Shining Celebi, Noivern, and then Garbodor, is that not a bit clunky?
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be something. It could be something. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. We are finally into the trainers, guys, and that means we are pretty much at the end of this roundup. I'm going to quickly batter through these because we have been going for a while now, and I need to get to bed, if I'm being really honest with you.
Same.
Beast Ring. This is the first it's the first rare trainer we're going to have since, God, like forever ago. And it is rare for a reason because it's amazing. It's basically double max elixir that always hits if you're attaching it to Ultra Beast. So search your deck for 2 basic energy cards. Before I say that, you can only use this when your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. So your opponent is mildly in control of this, but trying to take 3 prize cards to avoid this in a turn is definitely not going to happen. So you're going to get a chance to use these cards. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and then attach them to one of your Ultra Beast Pokemon. Now bear in mind this is an item card. You can use 4 of these in a turn if you are able to, and you can double puzzle them back. You can use them again. This is such a broken card.
It's ridiculous.
It's so
I
good.
mean, it sets you up for Buzzwole, it sets you up for Naganadel, I mean, it sets you up for Ultra Necrozma.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking about that having amazing synergy with the best cards in the set.
Yep.
I mean, what more do you want?
And I do not know. I do not know what more you can ask for, because this card is so nice.
Well, actually, I know what more we want, and it's Ultra Space.
Yep, and we'll talk about that very soon. Next card up is Bonnie. We spoke about that earlier. It's only for Zygarde GX. Then we've got Crasher Wake, and this is a card I was gutted wasn't actually in the last set. I thought it was. I got all excited about it, and it's only coming out in this set, and I am still pretty excited for it. Discard 2 water energy from your hand in order to play this card. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. So consider this in something like Lapras GX. Discard 2 water energies, use the card, and then get yourself 2 Aqua Patches. Instantly play the 2 Aqua Patches, and you've attached 2 energies for like free in that turn. Essentially for free. It's for a supporter. I like it for that. I like it for just the fact that you can find any cards you want. It's nice. It's a really nice supporter. I think it makes use of a lot of... It's going to make a lot of water decks of that a little bit better, and it's definitely something that we could look for when we're building water decks in the future as like a almost teammates kind of card. Just searching your deck for 2 cards is really powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, like, think about, as you said, their teammates, how popular that was. Think about Mallow, that's played in Zoroark all the time.
Of course, yep.
It's great. Just the ability to get whatever 2 cards you want. You can get Rare Candy and Empoleon. If you're going to play it in there, it works perfectly in Lapras, as you said. It's a great card.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Moving on to Diantha. And Diantha is our first holo supporter that we've had for a long time, and it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. Only usable in fairy decks, so you can only use this. You can only play this card if one of your fairy Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, and then you choose 2 cards from your discard pile, put them in your hand. I mean, it's double puzzle for a supporter, only in fairy decks and only when your Pokemon's been knocked out. I find it really specific.
I mean, it might see play in
Guardy.
Sylveon, for example,
Yeah,
or
Guardy, yeah. Like,
but it's nice.
It's nice for those decks. However, I feel as if like even Guardy's adopted more of a Zoroark focus over the past while, and that already plays puzzles. Because you're playing Diantha, you're then not be able to play a supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I find it really frustrating, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a little bit better. Like, you can only play this card if you have a fairy Pokemon in play.
Yeah, something
like that would maybe make it that little bit better to the where you go, oh, this deserves to be a holo supporter. Like, I feel as if something like Bonnie would have been a better holo supporter, to be really honest. I get that Diantha is a pretty boss card, but like, yeah, it's a shame. Endporter, not a bad card. Move a special energy from your opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. So it's like,
there is one situation you would use this that I can see, and that is you will need to take an Energy Drive knockout with a Lele, or you need to take a Psychic knockout with an Espeon.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just play Enhanced Hammer though? You know why?
The thing with Enhanced Hammer, and especially in denial decks, you could move the special energy from, for example, a Zoroark onto an Octillery, and then pile all the energy onto something like that, and then that way they can't get the energy back from the likes of Ace Rolla, from the likes of double puzzles, all that sort of stuff. Even what's that one that shuffles them back in that I'm totally blanking on?
Yep.
Special charge. Thank you. Yeah.
To be fair, that's actually a really good point. I hadn't thought of
it. Keeps the energy in play. You can put the energy on something kind of useless, so that you can basically deny the energy even further. It was something that I like to do, and I played the Slow King Mill deck I played for a while, Houndoom EX and Slowking, and basically what I was doing was using Slowking's ability, getting like 2 or 3 of them onto the bench and just flipping the coins, and basically you can move an energy from the active to the bench. And what I was doing with that was moving the energy onto something useless, onto something like a Hoopa EX back in the day that was quite popular. Was moving it on to even things like Regirock and stuff like that was sitting on the bench helping out, but you didn't necessarily want to put all your energies on it. You would stack like several energies onto a Hoopa, and the only way they could get them off was to become active with Hoopa, retreat, spend the energy retreating, and then suddenly like they're still back in the same position they were because they need to shuffle the energy back into their deck, and it was really clunky. So something like this isn't bad. However, it's going to be used in 1, maybe 2 decks ever in its whole rotation. And in the decks that it is used in, it's going to be nasty. But
yeah, if the deck uses it properly, you made a
that's
good
all
point.
it's going to be. That's all it's going to be.
Case for it.
Fossil excavation map, I feel as if is a mild reprint, because we had something like this in Fury's Fist.
I want to say.
Oh yeah, there was one in Fate's Collide. There was one in Fury's Fist I'm thinking of that was in a like box. You got it as a holo. Can't remember. Anyway, search your deck for one unidentified fossil and just put it in your hand. That's absolutely fantastic. What? Search your deck for one unidentified fossil. Show it to your opponent.
Or discard pile.
Or discard pile. I didn't see or discard pile. It says if you search your deck, shuffle it. I was like, but it says search your deck. I'm too tired. Too tired to be reading all this words. This is something that fossil decks actually really need. This is basically an ultra. This is a master ball for for fossil decks for their basics. It's a nest ball for the fossil deck basics. Really nice. It's definitely something that was missing from that Talonflame deck I played, was the ability to just grab out your fossils, and it now means you don't need to play Order Pad, and that is a good thing because nobody likes trying to do this on a coin flip. Love it, absolutely love it. Definitely. It's going to make fossil decks that little bit better again, and that's what we need with these fossil decks, is for them to just gradually get better to the point that they're actually playable. I got really frustrated playing that fossil deck because it was not playable. It was not good. There were so many inconsistencies with it, but this is just such a good consistency card that it's possible that it becomes playable.
Yeah.
So Judge is getting a reprint. About right, because we don't have. We don't have any.
Yeah. You were going to say we don't have any.
Yeah.
After
we're not going to
rotation.
have any after rotation.
That was my thought.
Yeah. That's all I would really say on that. Is a reprint. Lady's not bad. Lady, search your deck for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck. Like, it's Fisherman from your deck.
And I think I'm probably going to put one of these in Ultra Necrozma.
Yes, of course you are.
I think that's... I mean, the only decks that really want this are Magnetic Circuit based decks or Volcanion.
The only other one I can think of is Alolan Dugtrio. Alolan Dugtrio wants all the energy in the discard as quickly as possible because you want to bring it back with the Stadium, the Starmies, the energy retrievals. Ripping all your energies out of the deck really early on in the game with a Lady could be really nice. Just go Tapu Lele for Lady, 4 energies into your deck, out your deck rather, and then suddenly you're attacking for like 120, just straight off the bat, and whatever you had in your hand already. So it could be a really nice early way to support Alolan Dugtrio, but definitely I see it in Magnetic Circuit decks being the best use of it. A one-off though, I wouldn't go any further than that.
Yeah, I would have it as a one-off. Maybe in place of Professor's Letter.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, not long to go now, guys. Not long to go now. My throat is killing me. I'm gonna go straight to sleep after this. Lysander Prism Star. So only one of these in your deck. For each of your fire Pokemon in play, put the same number of your opponent's discard pile into their lost zone. So if you've got 4 fire Pokemon in play, you take 4 cards from their discard pile and put it into the Lost Zone.
It could be really good, but it's a bit too situational.
I think it will be better with sets to come. I have a funny
Yes.
feeling there's going to be Pokemon that says it will do so much damage for cards in the Lost Zone.
Yes, I definitely agree
Was
with
it
that.
not a Gengar that did that?
There was a Gengar Prime, I want to say, or like way back when anyway. That was the big deal. Was one card, like you played certain cards to remove cards to the Lost Zone, and then there was a Gengar that said if you have X amount of cards in the Lost Zone, you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you just straight win the game. So it was a really clunky deck, but apparently it was a lot of fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we didn't play back then, but it would be nice to maybe someday rip some of those cards together and try and make one of the old decks. But
Definitely.
I definitely agree with Jacob there. That is a card that might be good in the future, but for now it seems totally useless to me. The only thing I can think of doing is removing like all their DCE from play or something like that. But even then, they already have to be in the discard pile, so it seems so dumb. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's worth the deck space. Lysander's Labs we already talked about. So it's pretty good for if you maybe have a deck that doesn't have a lot of room. We talked about it earlier in terms of the Pyroar. However, I think on its own it might be reasonable. So Pokemon tools in play have no effect, both yours and your opponent's. One thing I am wondering about, does that mean... How does that affect Garbodor? If you put a Floatstone on Garbodor, even though the tool has no effect, does it still have a tool attached?
I would
It's still
say
technically
yes.
a tool card.
It still has a tool card attached.
Yeah, because if you think about putting something like bodybuilding dumbbells on an Eevee,
Yes.
it doesn't have any effect, but it
It still has a tool. So so it wouldn't remove that. If you don't have room to play a lot of tool cards, it could be okay to just shut off the tool cards, and then you won't play tool cards obviously in your deck, but you'll play Lysander's Labs instead, and then that way you maybe get the advantage of doing that. However, maybe in the future we see a deck that will use it. I can't think of one at the moment.
No, I agree.
There's nothing jumping in my
jumps out.
Yeah. What else do we have? Last few cards. We've got Metal Frying Pan. Oh yeah. Can only be attached to... No, it can be attached to anything, but if it's attached to a metal Pokemon, the metal Pokemon takes 30 less damage and has no weakness.
That's broken.
And what is that?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's
the,
so good.
The only thing about it is it's not an active tool.
Yes.
So your Choice Band is active, you get the extra damage right away. Your opponent can Field Blow it, but if they don't...
Realistically, how many decks are playing 4 Field Blower? You play 2 at most.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can get one of these to stick around, or 2 of these to stick around, it's ridiculous how good it is.
Essentially puts Duskmane Necrozma, let's talk about that. It essentially puts that up to a 210 base HP?
220.
220. But even then it's not 220 because it's every turn is 30 less. So that 120 coming in from Zoroark is now 90 and is now taking like a 3-shot on you.
If you put it on Solgaleo GX, he's essentially 280 HP.
That's insane.
With no weakness.
That's insane. It's an extra 30 HP every turn with no weakness. That is nasty. That is really, really nasty. I think definitely in something like a Duskmane Necrozma build, it'll probably see quite a lot of play because it's already a deck that's considering not running Choice Band.
Yeah, my version doesn't run Choice Band.
Yeah, so it's something that doesn't really want to run Choice Band anyway. So you're like, well, I might as well be tanky as all hell and have no weakness. I love it. It is such a nasty card. I can't believe it's a frying pan though. That's just dumb. This is a good one.
Yeah, I love this card.
Mysterious Treasure is basically an Ultra Ball where you only have to discard one card, but you can only get Psychic or Dragon Pokemon with it. And once again, we come back to the best card in the set, which is Ultra Necrozma. And you will be playing Malamar in there, you'll be playing Lele in there, and you can get your Leles, you can get your Malamars, your Inkays, and all your Ultra Necrozmas. It's dumb busted, man.
It's
Mysterious Treasure. Why is this a thing? This is too good.
It is amazing.
It's too good.
I mean, it's part of the reason that we're talking about Ultra Necrozma is possibly the best deck in format.
Yes.
Because when it's got support like that, I mean, it's just.
What else do you need? What else do you really need to make that card even better? Like, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Really good support, really good trainers in this set. Like, there was a lot of Pokemon we skipped over and we were like, these aren't very good. There's been one trainer that I've been kind of disappointed with, and that was Lysander. And the rest have been like, yeah, do you know what, that's pretty good. All of these trainers have been really nice. Definitely worth a thought or an inclusion in any sort of discussion. Ultra Recon Squad is not bad. Discard up to 2 Ultra Beasts from your hand, and then draw 3 cards from each that you discarded in this way. So it could be essentially a draw 6 if you're able to discard 2 Ultra Beasts, which I'll combine this with the next card, Ultra Space. Ultra Space is a stadium that basically says take an Ultra Beast from your deck and put it in your hand. It's simple, it's easy, it's effective, and I find that in a lot of decks, the simpler the card, the better they are. So if you say to yourself, I'm playing an Ultra Beast deck, which I think a lot of people are going to be, something like Naganadel Buzzwole is going to have a lot of extra cards. It's going to have Baby Buzzwoles. It's going to have possibly something like I was talking about Kartana. I was talking about them earlier. They're going to have lots of extra Ultra Beast Pokemon. So if you can pull out, maybe you've got a Poipole in your hand you don't need. Maybe you're not going to need Baby Buzzwole this match. Maybe you're not going to need Kartana this match. You know, your Ultra Space for one of them. You discard 2. It's essentially a draw 6, and you're thinning out your deck of your Ultra Beasts. Such a good supporter in these decks.
Absolutely, and the key thing with Ultra Space as well is that it goes into your hand.
Yes.
So it's not a Brooklet Hill where it goes straight to the bench. You can get the Naganadel to evolve into the Poipole.
Yes.
Other way around. But it's going to be ridiculous. The only thing about Ultra Recon Squads, I don't think you can rely on that as the draw engine of the deck.
No,
You
but
put 1 or 2 in, but situationally, 6 cards into your hand is just going to be ridiculous.
when we lose something like a Sycamore, we're going to need as many, because we're going to lose Sycamore and N, and at the moment we're not really seeing a lot of replacement for these. The decks that will be able to replace these are decks that are going to thrive in common formats. Something like Ultra Recon Squad is going to make Ultra Beast decks thrive in like future formats. You'll probably still play things like Judge in there to still be able to have that kind of N effect, but Ultra Recon Squad's really going to push Ultra Beast decks that little bit further up the totem pole, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
We already see something like a Sophocles, which is discard 2, draw 4. Like, that's not seeing play because it's not drawing enough cards. Alright, Ultra Recon Squad is quite a specific discard, but with Ultra Space it makes it that little bit easier, and drawing 6 cards is really, really nice.
And the other thing as well from Ultra Space is that it means you're not relying on something like Bridget to set up.
Yes.
You know, but Buzzwole can go just now, Brooklet Hill, play a bunch of cards, Lily, you know, that kind of thing. And so as soon as you build this deck, you're not building it with Bridget, so you're almost building it for the future already.
Yes. Yes. It's certainly a futuristic deck.
In more ways than one.
We have 2 cards left. One of which is Unit Energy, and is Fairy Dark fighting. It's a Unit Energy. It's the last Unit Energy we need to round out the set, and that's it done.
I mean, the one thing you say about that Unit Energy is having Darkness and Fighting on the same one makes Buzzwole Zoroark a bit more viable.
Yes.
And Jacob, you were playing that, weren't you?
Yeah, I still am.
Yes.
See,
It's nice. It's a really, really nice card. The only thing is it's special energy. You've got that kind of thing holding you back. And also, none of the Unit Energies have actually seen any play yet. I've never reached into my cards to find one of the current Unit Energies, so it would be nice to see one of them see play.
definitely.
But will this be it? I have no idea. The last card, and arguably one of the better cards in the set as well, is Beast Energy Prism Star. And it seems pretty fitting we leave it off here because it is yet another inclusion in our Ultra Necrozma deck that we have harked back to many times, and it is busted. It is stupid good. You can only have one in your deck, but it provides a colourless energy. However, when it's attached to an Ultra Beast, it's going to provide energy for any type, only one energy at a time, and the attacks of the Ultra Beast do an extra 30 to your opponent's active Pokemon. You can do an extra 30 with this, an extra 30 with Choice Band, and it's just nuts. It's so good.
I mean, if you have this covering your metal energy,
Yes.
you put 2 psychic on it, you don't
Yes.
even need Choice Band, you hit 210 straight away.
Yes.
That's how ridiculous this is. Strong energy adds 20, and this thing adds 30.
Yes.
It's insane.
This is a rainbow energy only for Ultra Beast. It's a rainbow energy that you don't take damage from when you attach it, and on top of all that, it does an extra 30 damage. It's so good.
It is. It's just awesome.
It's so good, and it literally will propel Ultra Necrozma to like the stratosphere. It's going to be the best deck in the format. It's going to be the best deck in the format. Oh wow, I'm so glad we got through that, guys. That was 2 hours. I thought that would take like half an hour tops. We have a lot to say about this set because it is such a nice set coming out, man. One of you guys talk us out, like finish this up, because my throat needs a bit of a rest, and I'm going to just flick through some of the shiny cards from the set, the full arts and the rainbows, while you guys are talking us out.
So obviously pre-releases starting this weekend. I think it's fair to say, as we said at the very start, we're all very, very excited for this, hoping to pull those Ultra Necrozmas, etc., get the Malamars going as quickly as possible. Keep an eye on the channel over the next kind of couple of weeks, because we'll be bringing you as much Forbidden Light content as we possibly can. So we'll be looking at doing things like openings, we'll be doing pre-release roundup, we'll be doing live matches with pre-release decks, so you can see some of these in action. Hopefully some of the cards, oh, that would be good in pre-release that we're speaking about, get to see some of these going. So loads and loads of Forbidden Light stuff coming up, so please keep an eye on it. Jacob, anything you want to say?
No, I think you've actually got it all, and
What?
it's been great talking to you actually.
One thing I want to quickly put to you guys, right? Let's take out the Ultra Necrozmas and the Naganadels and stuff like that. One card that you're excited for the
Goomy. Goomy's my boy in this
Goomy's
set.
my boy. Jacob, what you saying?
I want to say the trainer that discards 2 water energy from your hand.
I was genuinely going to say the exact same thing. Crasher Wake looked
And
amazing.
Do you know what deck I'm going to put it in?
Primarina.
Don't even say it. Oh, man.
Primarina.
Ah.
Yeah,
I will make it work.
I must
I'm
admit-
telling you now, I will make it work.
You've definitely said the one I was going to say, but I'm low-key super excited for lots of cards in this set. Right on the I've been put right on the fence for this one now. I'm gonna say something like, do you know what? I'm gonna say a Alolan Marowak. We talked about that really early on. I'm a big fan of Marowak as it is, and Alolan Marowak was cool, man. That's Alolan Marowak with with a Alolan Ninetales. I'm gonna try and make that thing work at some point.
Definitely.
Definitely. Oh, right. I think it's bedtime, guys. What do you think?
Yeah,
Agreed.
totally.
Oh,
Oh, thank you so much.
we do it for the views, guys. We do it for the views. Oh, right. Good night, guys. Enjoy pre-release.
Night. You too. Take care.